that top 30 some odd team. Do you see them in the same class as like a Kansas and a Baylor that you played?
Oh, I think they're a top team. I don't really care to compare teams too much, but they're a top level team without any question. And you're talking about a team that's got 3 starters back from a squad that went to the Sweet 16 a year ago and went to the Final 8 2 years ago. So I don't think there's any question about the quality of their program, the quality of what's going on competitively in that program. They're putting together really, really good teams year in and year out.
You talk to your guys about this early in the season about kind of the pecking order that their record is, that they're blowing out teams and then losing close ones with 2 ranked teams. Do you see it that way?
Not really. We've come up short in a couple of games and had stretches in both of those games where we played well. We just didn't play well enough to win. And our guys will bounce back. That's who they are, and I have full confidence in their competitive character that way. But we would like to have won that game the other night. We felt like we were in position to win it, obviously, and we just didn't make the plays that we needed to make and get the stops that we needed to get to get it done.
Is the types of wins that you guys need to kind of justify your own expectations for this year?
I think if you're going to have a special year, you have to win. You have to win games like this, yes, or the games like Baylor, the games like Kansas. I mean, the more of those games that you can put together in the win column, the better your resume looks at the end, and the better you feel about yourself at the end. But it's a process. It's a process for all of us, and so again, we thought we could have won that game the other night, and we're disappointed that we didn't. But we got another very, very difficult quality team in front of us tomorrow night that will be a great test for us, and hopefully we can get that one done.
The last big thing with McElvain, he said, is making sure he doesn't foul. Is getting him in foul trouble a big focus, and how do you balance that with playing Vanderbilt basketball?
Well, I think that anytime that there's key players on the other team, I think that you if you can get them into foul trouble, it's certainly to your advantage. And we're not going to get very far outside of what we do in an effort to try to get someone in foul trouble, because I think that ultimately just works in reverse. And we've been a pretty efficient offensive team, and we need to continue to be efficient offensively. And Dayton is exceptional on defense. They're very, very good on defense. So we'll have our work cut out for us in terms of being able to produce the kind of points and the possessions that we want, but we're going to have to be very good in order to get it done.
Despite the
With Pollard's speed and quickness, is that the kind of scenario that you envisioned Jeff Roberson playing the floor would help with a little bit this year?
Well, I think that a guy like that is a guy that hopefully Jeff can match up with when he's in the game, and when I made references to Jeff being able to guard 4 men from other teams earlier in the season, he wasn't the kind of guy I had in mind. I mean, he's a high-level player, and I was talking about more like the 6'4", 6'5" guy that's way undersized that some of our bigs might have a hard time with. I mean, Pollard's a legit-sized 4-man that's a very, very good player, but hopefully Jeff, he'll certainly get his turn with having to guard him, and hopefully he can do a good job with it.
Despite that loss to Baylor, how fair is it to say you're pretty upbeat about your team?
I've been upbeat about our team the whole time, the whole season. I was very disappointed the other day because I felt like there were just some things that sort of occurred last year that occurred in that game as well. And there's a point to where we have to get past and learn from what happened, the lessons that we learned from a year ago, and turn those into successful lessons and successful opportunities. And I don't feel like we did that as well as I'd hoped the other night. Rebounding being one thing, just one. Ball care being another. And then, there were even others than that. So hopefully, we continue to learn lessons and continue to grow from them, because we tell our players, you get to about this point in the season, a little bit later than this, and most of your physical gains have occurred. Now what you're going to, the progress you're going to make from this point are mostly going to be mental gains and getting smarter and having those experiences be productive for you and learned from and lessons learned and taken forward and applied. And that's where we're at. We've got to apply some of these things and then make the best of them.
From a coaching standpoint, is it helpful for you to have a loss like that, or do you just despise it and you would never want?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You know, to talk to them about those kind of things.
I was talking to them about the same things after the games I was talking to them about before the game. So that to me, losing didn't enhance that conversation at all for me, and I don't think it did for them either. So it is kind of what it is, as they say. But I would like to think that we are intelligent enough and experienced enough to learn from wins, and don't need to lose in order to learn.
You had home and home with Butler, Xavier, St. Louis, now Dayton, kind of similar teams all day when you started. Is there something about that profile that you think really is good?
You know, as much as anything, you start looking for a home game, and the people in those leagues are smart. They hold out, and they know that they'll get a Power 5 conference team to play them in a home and home if they wait long enough. And we were in a situation where we needed a good quality home game, and Dayton again certainly qualifies for that because they're been a very, very good team, a very good program, and have a very good team this year.
Going back through, Josh said that when they were watching film, he noticed a lot of guys were missing boxing out. So is rebounding going to be one of the main focuses you guys work on today?
You know, rebounding is always an emphasis for us because Pete Carrill said one time, the old Princeton coach said that there's an inverse proportion between good rebounders and how closely they live to the nearest railroad tracks. And I just don't think we had very many guys that grew up near railroad tracks. So that's just something that we always have to focus on and concentrate on. But, you know, again, of course you go back and you take the things that you didn't do well in the game before and you try to work on those in practice. But rebounding has been an emphasis for us all season long and will continue to be. It'll have to be.
What's it been like having Josh Anderson around for as many years?
We tease sometimes and say that he's the only guy that's been here as long as I have. Josh is he's a great kid and a great ambassador for our program and is playing good basketball for us and is going to need to play very good basketball for us because you always want your seniors to play the best of their careers, and Josh is the only senior that's playing very much, and so we need to have him have the best year of his career.